Let's get this party started. Who's ready to get this party started? Got to raise your hand. Got to take turns, raise your hand. This is Costas Verde show. We're going to cover Bitcoin, altcoin price action. And we'll start with Bitcoin, and then I'll move along to the Q&A, take on questions. And remember, perhaps not remember, but new folks tuning in, I typically have to skip over questions that are not from community members of the YouTube tiers, either the loyalty or cryptillion tier. And there are links to check that out, what that entails. If you click the join button that's by the subscribe button, and returning viewers, this is your reminder to hit the like button and to help out your content creator before we get started. But new viewers, don't hit like until you determine that you like what you see. I'm not asking new viewers to do that quite yet, but if you do get to a point where you like what you see, then you're going to want to subscribe and hit the bell, for all alerts, because we're going to keep you in the know. And that's what we're going to do. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and dive into Bitcoin. Bitcoin price action right now is likely going to be in a holding pattern with support at a horizontal, seen right beside me here. My finger's invisible, damn it. Right there. This blue line. And then also the sellers are stepping in right when Bitcoin gets to the weekly 10. And so we're going to go over, so see how this was a rejection failure pattern above the red line. On a larger time frame, this was just a rejection only. If I go up to the 4 hour, for example, okay, and I know I'm big, I'll make myself small here in just a second, but this was only a rejection. So the classic rejection failure pattern, it doesn't mean a higher high has to happen. It just means that obstacle price does get over it in that classic rejection failure pattern. So over here, to fill out this triangle, okay, it looks like bulls are providing support right at this 16,600 line. It's very clear that the play for sellers is at the weekly 10. What you have going on here is a perfect whale trap scenario to invite buyers to start buying, but then to cross, for example, this threshold here, get it over, get everybody real excited, everything's going to go up, get it over the weekly 10, get it out of this triangle that people will see later. I'm already seeing it. I can already anticipate it's going to potentially happen, but other people will talk about this triangle. They'll say, oh, it's broken out of the triangle, and then it'll come flying down. Because we know origin line rules, this likely was the last attempt. Because the next origin line down, we already know it has to be hit, and it will be hit before something significant over this line, this origin line happens. And we know from history that given that from this point here on my channel, this was November 9th, November 8th. And if you don't believe me, go back to my November 8th, 9th, and 10th videos. I was saying the whole time, it needs to interact with this origin line for a 45-day period. It's not going to race up. It's not going to fly down. Because of the way it initially interacted with the origin line right here behind me on November 9th that I'm circling, it has to go slideways around this origin line for 45 days. And then once we realized which of the versions it truly was going to take, this was the more bearish version. So this was version 3 from that video series around my origin line and the rules, right? That's when I started covering origin lines, because I just knew this was going to happen. So once we knew which of the 3 general paths it was going to take, because it was then it came under this origin line, so there are only 2 possibilities. One there where it rides the origin line, it goes on both sides of it for a month, or one where it's more bearish, then at the end it tries to come tag it for the last bull trap. And when we finally knew that, we probably knew that around November, around middle of November. So it took about 15 more days. But then we knew it was option 3. And within option 3, we knew that there are 2 ways that whales end that game, or that price action ends. There are only 2 possible ways now that we identified it was case number 3. Case number 1 is it pops all the way back up to this origin line, or it gets rejected by the weekly 10 and then goes down. That's it. There are no other ways that it has ever happened, and it's happened a lot. So now let's dive in to see what the hell is going to happen on a, I guess, short and micro time frames, because we already know from the midterm time frames, it's following exactly what we've been going over on this channel since the first big drop on November 8th. We already anticipated this on my channel, and as price went along, we tightened the wrench on which version was going to happen with origin line interaction. So now we're in the potential bear trap version. So let's go see how fast and what dates we might be able to come up with as possibilities and key lines for this next big move down. Let's get some damn crypto and some Bitcoin. If you want to make things exceptionally simple in your Bitcoin chart, this is what you want right here. Make your chart look like that. This is Bitcoin. So new viewers, you see a lot of, if you're newer to understanding price action, it's really hard to understand people like me on YouTube. We're talking about price and making lines and go up and down and this and talking about things you don't even, know what it means. Like, the bond market, the yield curve inverted and all this stuff, saying things that are just not normal jargon, right? This is easy. Look how clean this is. This is probably all you need to get the price right. That's it. You need the weekly 10 EMA here. Although I'm on, let's go even a smaller time frame. I'm on the 1 hour chart right now, but I have the weekly 10 EMA. There are a couple ways you can do it. You could just multiply out what it would take on the 1 hour to which 1 hour EMA would equal the 10 on the weekly. You can just multiply things out, right? But multiply by 24, then times 7, I guess. Yeah, that would work. Or you can use MTF EMA indicators. It's called MTF EMA indicator. That's what that is. There are multiple versions. You don't have to use the one I use, but they're just MTF. MTF means multi-time frame. So this can be on a different time frame than price, right? Okay, so you need your multi-time frame weekly 10 EMA, so you can be on the smaller time frames. You need a box. So it's not one line. I'm telling you, it's not one line. It's a fat line, like a tube or I'm telling you, like, you might want to get in the habit of this. Instead of drawing just one trend line, make it a fat trend line with a rotated rectangle or a box. 16,580. So I would, and then 16,685. All right, that's your second thing you need on your chart. Doesn't matter how far back or how far forward you need it, you put it, but whatever, just drag it a little forward before price. That's step 2. And here's the top of the other box, right? So this is a horizontal play. So what this is, it's a different type of trader will be looking at this to short. If we look left, it will be essentially the bottom section of all of this move, right? And it would be a failure pattern above this. So price going above that, getting rejected by here. Okay, and a lot of people will be looking at this general area for shorts, independent of using this weekly 10 EMA. Like, a lot of those people aren't even aware of it, or aware of there's a triangle forming because of the weekly 10 EMA, right? Same thing. And we have a triangle forming because of this horizontal here and the weekly 10 there. The direction it goes next, from the standpoint of it goes roughly the same direction and continuation for more than, let's say, 5 days. It's the way it leaves this, you're going to be able to tell by the way it leaves this triangle. But just realize that since you already got a fake out to the downside, which in my VIP and Discord, I already let everybody know, I expect a fake out down here, but I'll show you how exactly how to know if it's a fake out or not. And it was by using Litecoin. If you're not a part of the community, well, that's your fault. I let everybody know that, hey, if there is a downside movement on Bitcoin, it's not real if Litecoin doesn't go below this line. And look what happened. Litecoin only spent during that move 1.5 minutes, 4.5, 7, so about 10 to 15 minutes below. It only spent a 15-minute candle below. That's it. And go back to Bitcoin. Look. Hours. Look, I'm on the 1 hour chart. It stayed down there for a while. So, I don't know, half hour, 1, 2.5, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It stayed down there for 8 hours. And Litecoin only 10 minutes. I think I made that a video update, so I wouldn't be able to just reference that my Discord alerts. But everybody, if you want to see how I'm helping, watch. I want to show you something here real quick. Some of how these alerts can honestly save you money, and I'm not saying my Discord necessarily. Technically, I am, but being a part of the community can really help you out. I mean, significantly. And it could be in form of money you don't lose because you're holding Tether. That's still money earned, right? I mean, so check this out. Daily updates. I want to know if I did this. It might have been a video update. Damn. I've done a lot of video updates recently. Okay, so this one right here. I explained to my community why... And I'll show you when I did this. I won't tell you the date yet. Let me make myself small. So check this out. I showed everybody some information about price action on the left and Apple. You know, it's your trigger. Okay? 140 line was key for Apple. It's since passed it. And then on the right-hand side, I let everybody know what I'm doing. I'm done trying to sell into this rally. I'm not going to go for more upside trade. I'm done. Like, this is where I wait for shit to happen. I want it to cool down. I successfully traded to the upside. Let them know things that could change the charts, events, and futures. If people want to trade futures, I let them know, hey, I would wait until this date and this time to even consider it. And we'll backtest this. Just watch. And then spot trade for people less interested in futures in my, because I have a lot of people who are more interested in spot trading. It's less risky and it's less stressful, and it technically could be more profitable. And I let them know exactly what I'm doing. Okay, personally in my spot trade portfolio. Now let's look on when I did this. And again, the whole purpose of doing this, I want to show you how this is stuff I can't do on YouTube. I can't help you if you're not part of the community. So this was December 13th. At 2 p.m. my time. So that will correlate with my chart, right? So let's go over here. 1 hour chart should be fine. Now check this out. Now, if that was a great time, new viewers, this is where you have to subscribe and hit the bell and hit the like button and leave me a quick comment. And if a bot scammer replies to you, I will delete it. And I'll ban that person, which I've banned like 5,000 bots already, but it's just pointless at this time. All right, so that was December what? 13th? December 13th at 2 p.m., which is 1,400 hours for me. So I'm on the 1 hour chart. About right there. Okay, so I was satisfied selling into this rally. I didn't want to try for more upside. So was there more upside tradably? Yeah, if you're trading the 1 hour time frame, I mean, yeah, you could take a trade right there, breakout 2%. Okay, well, there was 2% more upside. If you're trading high leverage, that is actually one last trade. But there was only one more trade upside left. Then what happened? Bloom. And what am I doing? Holding Tether. So look what's happened since then. So I give like clear direction on what I'm personally doing as well. So you can choose to at least be, you can be at least be aware, but you can choose to do whatever you want with that information, right? And I'm still holding. I'm not going to try to trade this. I don't think I want to trade spot trade now. If you're trading futures, yeah, there's always a trade. You just have to go down time frames. And there's almost always a setup. But for the time frames that you're comfortable with, right now, the ones that I'm comfortable with, such as the 15-minute and 1 hour is kind of my sweet spot. I like those two time frames for trading. And the 4 hour. Yeah, I like 15, 1 hour, and 4 hour. But anyway, it's all saying that there's no entry right now. There's a no trade situation. So what that means for this, all of my, I guess my personal indicators, some that I built, some that I haven't, they're saying if you want to enter a trade right now because you want to make money in the next hour, don't. Not even on the 5-minute time frame. It says don't. You have to wait. If you can come down here one more time and then get a higher low, okay. Short, very, very micro time frame, short interest. However, right now, it's statistically even possibilities that it gets rejected from this area here, this wick, and comes down one more time. So longing here, not that great either, right? However, the posturing of this is technically fairly bullish because if you see this trend line over here, look, it crossed it. And it retested, here, let's zoom way in there. And it retested the damn thing. See how it came to retest that line that I just drew? So on the micro time frames, it does say it's kind of bullish. Like if I had to choose one, if I just had to market buy or market sell with 50x leverage, which way would I choose right now? If I were forced to do it, okay, that doesn't mean I want to do it, but if I were forced, I would go long right now. But the other items that I use are saying it's a no trade zone. So what does that mean for this chart? It kind of agrees that we're going to be in a holding pattern before either buyers decide definitively to break out or sellers decide to finally attack once as price is here. Because look, sellers attacked way up here, but did they attack once price hit this line? No, purposely not. Because it's the same people who brought it up here who brought it down. They already knew where they were going to stop selling. I'm telling you, it was the same, like, it's the same sophisticated algos with hedge funds, probably tens of millions of dollars in it to trade Bitcoin, specifically in Ethereum. Bitcoin and Ethereum, they usually go together. It's the same folks, or the same algo. It might not have been technically a human being aware of it, but the same algos, right? And right now, since it's clear that the bears that drove price down, they didn't have interest in driving it lower. They allowed the bulls to defend. So that means there's going to be a logical next area where those same sellers who sold here and stopped selling here, where will they step in next? Well, we just went over that. Weekly 10 or this horizontal. So what's going to happen is, okay, they're going to step in here, but bulls are going to be too scared to attack at this line. So it's going to come up, then it's going to come down. And at that point, unless the stock market's tanking, so if the stock market is not tanking, at the second touch, it's going to bounce again. So it's probably, yeah, I think there's going to be one touch of each, and then it decides somewhere around the new year. And this right here is December 31st right here. This is what I think is getting ready to happen. So we've already had a fake out to the downside, and we already know to anticipate a fake out to the upside because of the classic reject. So even though on micro, so let's go to let me show you the different time frames. Watch. On this tiny, tiny time frame, you have rejection failure pattern. Classic. See that? Here, let's zoom way in so you can see it. See that? It went way up to the weekly 10, rejected. Went up to it, used it as support. Last bull trap, kablam. The same people who sold this were the exact ones who bought here. It's the same people. Or hedge fund, bought, whatever. Rejection failure pattern. But switch to the 4-hour chart. Look. Check this bad boy out. Look. What is that? That's just a rejection. No closures above. So on this time frame, if you have a rejection, and rejection failure patterns are common, extremely common, doesn't have to happen. That means, okay, draw one of the honestly the most valuable free tool in crypto might be what I'm about to show you. I am serious. I have people in my Discord who are more of the heavier traders, and they're there to trade, not just to learn, but they want my ideas on what I'm seeing in the chart so they can go trade themselves, right? That's kind of what my Discord's turned into. They want to know what I'm thinking before they trade. But anyway, but a couple of those people, I mean, I don't know if they believe me at first or not, but like they're really into this projector tool. I already know it works. It's just a question of when do you realize how well it works. It's not up for debate. This 40 crypto loves 45 degrees. Guess what also is in here? That. So this is a perfect storm for the rejection failure pattern because so many people are going to want to take on shorts here and here for two different reasons, right? And it's going to take that out and then it's going to come down for a rejection failure pattern potentially. The reason I'm saying this is I told you earlier that the direction that crypto will go next will be which way it leaves this triangle, right? With one exception. Please anticipate a fake out to the upside as well. We already got it to the downside. We already know, or at least my Discord did, we already knew how to determine whether it's a fake out or not. And we did it perfectly. It was, well, it's not textbooks. I don't think anybody else really uses two charts. I don't know if anybody else trades like that, but I can tell if things are, because the same algos that faked out Bitcoin, they didn't do it on Litecoin. They're not interested in Litecoin as much, right? So their algos aren't dictating price, especially on those fast moves that are the fake outs, because it's more retail driven. So I can already tell that Litecoin wasn't falling, so therefore Bitcoin was a fake out, right? But anyway, the same idea here. Yes, if it breaks out of here, that will be the next crypto direction for at least 5 days to a week. But because we're looking for a failure pattern above, you need it to break out and find support and then go. That right here. So I would not be macro bullish here. I would not be macro bullish here. I would be macro bullish. I mean, honestly, I would start wanting to enter. So on this time frame, I would zoom in to the tiny time frames where then it's going like this, right? Higher, low, higher, low, higher, low. But you can't see it on the. I would zoom in and I would long the second and the third higher low on the smaller time frame, like a 5 minute. There. After it comes above, comes all the way back down, bounces. The second and third higher lows on the 5 minute chart is where I personally would have interest. That's how I would play it. It's not financial advice. It might not happen, right? But that is how to put into practice what I'm saying. Next direction will be from this triangle. We've already got the lower fake out. Look out for one more fake out. That means, okay, so the fake out to the upside, how do I tell the difference? When do I become bullish? Well, I just showed you. That's what you would have to do. Is it possible that you miss your trade because you were expecting that to happen and it just goes straight up to the heavens? Yeah, it's possible. But there's always another trade. Go find another asset. Go find another crypto. Don't worry about it doing that. Just go with what you know is statistical and trade when you have an edge. Stop guessing. Stop guessing. Stop guessing. All right, now let's get on to that's Bitcoin. It's really simple, everybody. This is all we have going on. If you want a little bit more like an external chart, clearly Litecoin is it. You want to create a line like mine. You don't have to take it all the way to the end of time or to the beginning of time like I do. So I have, obviously the best Litecoin chart on YouTube. No one else has this. But anyway, and the best Dixie chart on YouTube. If I may. And what was I going to do? Oh, yeah. If you need an external chart, so this is what the Litecoin origin lines are. They work. We've already essentially proven this, right, on my channel, because I made these lines, I named them, and they work. But you need a line. You need to try to make your line like this, because this is when things will go down. This is the truth. Litecoin right now to the downside is the truth. Bitcoin is not the truth. Bitcoin is, let's fake your ass out and take your money. That's what Bitcoin is right now. It's literally just washing both sides out. It's not the truth. Sometimes it is the truth, but right now it's not. So if you want to external truth charts, Litecoin is the best one. And then US 500, which is the futures of the S&P 500, is your second best for now. The truth charts change. And this is something I go over on my daily updates like every day. Every day. Sometimes I clarify that, oh, Ethereum's the truth chart to Bitcoin, or Bitcoin, it's its own truth chart. There's no fake outs expected, right? Okay, so I want you to try to draw. I can get rid of this, I guess. I want you to try to draw. Let's see what time frame you'd want to be on to try to get this line as close as possible so you can use it as your truth line. Yeah, so I'm on the 2-hour chart. And this is the yearly low for Litecoin down here. Should be like 38, 40 bucks, I think. Yeah, there you go. See that? And you're going to want to try to emulate this line here. And again, I am on the 2-hour chart. So you could do this on the 1-hour or the 4-hour, but if you want to try to copy this line here, I would be close to the 2-hour chart. 1 hour, 4 hour would be fine, or even 30 minutes. It's probably fine. So the one that really gets it right is around July 13th when it hit 46 bucks. Another almost exact one is on this little guy right here when it hit 54.75. This one gets it perfectly too, right there, and this is October 9th. And then that 2 points make a straight line. That's it. Get that line on your chart. That's your truth line for downside only, not for upside. Because the weekly 10 is doing the same thing on Litecoin. Look, even though this is not a Litecoin video, I get it, but this is your truth chart for Bitcoin. So, I mean, it might be truth to the upside too, but I'm not going to label it as such. I think something else will be the truth to the upside. But for the downside, it's all about this line. Okay? US 500 for your other truth chart, and this is what I think could happen here. Anyway, this was for my VIPs, not you all. Act like you didn't see that. Okay. So one of the truth charts outside to the upside is, man, that really got close to going below there. Whoa. Oh my God, that was close. That's your cliff line, everybody. That's when crypto will fly down. Next time it goes below there, crypto will tank, period. So you want that on your US 500 chart. There won't be exceptions. So I think your truth chart is going to be US 500 because we have our bull trap zone. So for new viewers, we have US 500 futures zoomed way out. This is the all-time high of the stock market, and this is what we're looking at, right? Take that off, okay? I guess I can get rid of this line. It's out of play now. So bull trap zone. Okay, now we're going to zoom into this. So it was the top of the August rally, and it runs parallel to this line, right? That's what we're going to, so this is your truth chart, US 500. You literally just type in the letters US 500, hit enter on TradingView, it'll go straight there. Now let's zoom in to this part here, and I want to show you what your truth is to the upside. Watch. And again, new viewers, if you like what you're seeing, because I know my style is totally different than anybody else you can find on YouTube. I'm not saying I'm the best, but if you like what you see, this is the time to subscribe and hit the bell for all alerts. Okay. What I'm going to see here, I'm going to also throw on the weekly 10. The truth to the upside is it gets above both the weekly 10 and this, and use it as support, and then takes out that local high. So, for example, let's run a line here, and we know that the weekly 10 is running along it as well, this red guy, right? So you have double resistance. Structural trend line, EMA. Two different groups of people will become sellers for totally different reasons at the same exact place at the same exact time. Got a lot of buy pressure. So what that means is if the buyers who are fighting against those people selling because of this thing and this thing simultaneously, if the buyers can this is why it's the truth chart to the upside. I'm trying to explain why this will work. Just like my plan for Litecoin worked perfectly. Do my plans always work? Fuck no, they don't. Oh, that's 3 F words in the month of December. Oh no. I usually don't use F word more than once. I get one a month, but anyway. So there are two groups of people who will be selling here. What will happen is this. If price gets above and used as support and then breaks a local high, so the punch high, right? So imagine it's got to get through it with force. because the people wanting it to go up, like they start selling, they attack that line. They attack it. The opposite of what I showed you on Bitcoin earlier at the blue line. They stopped at that line on purpose, right? So if the bulls attack at that line and that creates a punch high, then it will come back down because those people who punched it through, they'll stop buying because they want to see how aggressive sellers will want to pound it down. They will stop buying. They'll want to test the sellers. So then it'll naturally come down. And if the sellers don't re-attack that line, guess what those bulls are going to do? They're going to pop it right above. And you're going to be able to see it cross the punch high, and that is your truth. You have true direction of crypto to the upside when that happens and not before. So if price of this of US 500 does something, like micro time frame really bullish, it just goes, does that make me bullish on crypto? No. Why? Because it has to come back down to test this. And if it falls from farther up, it comes down with more momentum, making it easier for bears to attack that. It'll go right through. That's actually more bearish. That's just a trap. That's obvious trap. Now, would it be easy to short the top of that trap? No, you can't. Unless you're the person creating the trap. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying this doesn't mean bullish for a week. It actually means you're going to pull back, and you technically increase the chance that you break down. That punch high is too much. Making sense there? So this is your truth to the upside. Litecoin is truth to the downside for Bitcoin and crypto, and the US 500 to the upside, because Bitcoin, we are expecting a fake out, and you want something else, but you want to be able to have your odds before, if this happens, you want to know your odds here, even though you can't guess there. Because you're expecting here and that. You want the punch high to be taken out. Punch high, retest, support, and then boom, about right at this area is when you start getting bullish. And then when it crosses that first punch high is when it'll explode. But it's nice to know around here before all that happens with your external charts, hey, what's the chances of this coming down, getting support, and going there? Well, that's what your external charts are for. Does it give you a fantastic edge? No. But it's more information, and it'll help you make better judgment of when it comes down to land. Will it break through? Or if I go like this, boom, boom, boom. Like, is it done? Well, no, it's just testing, and it'll go up. Right? It'll give you information on when, right from the. So let's just go like this. Boom, 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 like this. It'll give you information from here to here before you get your true signal on Bitcoin itself. So Bitcoin itself during that time doesn't tell you much in this exact moment. Oops, sorry. Right here in this area. If it punches up, you don't know. You're literally just guessing. You don't have an edge for anything. It's too hot to be shorting. Hell, you just fly up in your face. So, because you're not creating that trap. Don't try to short the top of it. Right? Humans could short something like that after it comes back below the 10 and gets rejected by it. And if you want an example of what that would look like, we can just go in here on the 1 minute chart. And then that same shape on a bigger time frame, that's exactly what you'd be looking for. But since Bitcoin itself gives you no information, or those external charts will give it to you here before this point on which you actually have a tradable edge. That's upside rules only. Make sense? All right. And I think that's all I want to cover on Bitcoin because it's so simple right now. There were months. October, November. Yeah, October particularly. It was messy. And then clarity started forming, and now everything is crystal clear. I don't know how it will I don't know which way it'll break up, but with it right now, it's totally clear. I don't need to guess because I will be able to tell once it's there. And that is Bitcoin for you. Let's move on to the live questions. Thanks, Bill B89. I appreciate it. Bot targets and bumper levels, please. Talking to the hand. All right. Set it and forget it. Target Caspa real quick, please. Thank you. All right. So Papa Longball says what? Set it and forget it. Low target for Caspa. Low target for Caspa. So you're okay. Set it. Okay. So you're okay. So that question, what Papa Longballs is saying for everybody else trying to figure out what the hell is he talking about and how does this dude understand him? Okay. So he's going for a limit buy. He wants to take, let's say, $100. And he wants to put it on the exchange in a stable position, like Tether or USD or whatever trading pair with Caspa in a stable position that it trades on, a trading pair, that's the stable one. And he wants to put it at a lower price for when, there's a capitulation. He doesn't care if it's the low, the ultimate low or not. He just knows it's lower than now. And, he hopes to have this $100 fill the order fill while he's sleeping or whenever without looking at it, right? Because he might take a month off from crypto and he wants those things there. All right. When the fuck did I draw that? That's 4F4. Dang it, I need to stop that. That's 4 in a month. I need to stop that. I apologize. I know a lot of people they're watching me when they have kids and stuff in the back. I shouldn't do that. That was a pretty good guess. I drew that back in November. Wow. Because I can always tell where I start, right? That's where I started this guess. Well, no, that's not a horrible guess. Wasn't perfect, but anyway. So, not too bad. Wow. It's not as bearish as what I would have thought. So how... This had its height on Bitcoin 69K. No. Oh, this is all 2022. Okay, I was confused. So it was just about 45 days ago when I did that. There's still a pretty good guess though. I don't know if there's enough price history on this. Is there another chart? There we go. All right. Ooh, it didn't have a very big run. Only did a 5x. It's resting on its weekly 10 that came into existence. So yeah, this is common. Whenever you see this happen on a new coin and the weekly 10 pops into existence because it just became 10, 11 weeks old, and if price is anywhere close to when that happens, what happens is the bots have a new system or a new piece of major information to put within their program system if it uses EMAs, and price just goes to it. You'll see that a lot during a bull market when coins turn, 21 days old. It'll finally get the daily 21 line, stuff like that. So right now it's at it, but yeah, it's not where you're looking for. You're looking for bottom targets. So and it's just too young to make an origin line, but because of this nice perfect slope here, I can make a pretty educated guess that this will become in the future the master origin line of this chart. An educated guess. I don't know, but it's a guess. So I will go from here to here. Yeah, that's almost too perfect. And you can do this with any asset, what I'm doing. This is how I make origin lines. And I hold control with my pinky and click that line and drag it, and that's it. Okay. And now I'm looking to keep it equidistant, but also hit tops and bottoms. That one's too high then. That's what that means. Now they're all equidistant. Now I can just rock and roll like this. All right, so about 4 origin lines below its master origin line is roughly the gist of what I would say a coin in this situation would go. Wow, so see how this works? See how it's perfectly equidistant? What does it align with perfectly right now? It's not a coincidence, folks. I don't know why it works, but it does. So this is getting ready to fall real hard when it breaks below both the weekly 10 and this line. So stop bringing me food. This is the third. Here, put it in the oven for me. Thank you, though. Why are y'all trying to make me get? Oh, your mom wants me to gain weight, doesn't she? All right, go. Yeah, put it in the oven for me, baby. Yeah, look, I still have my last plate here. That's on Tuesday. I work 2 jobs, so I have to have food brought to me. I don't have to, but anyway, my wife says you're too skinny, so she's bringing me a lot of food. Anyway, so how low? I would say 4 down, and I would keep the average slope of this, but then for a capitulation, I would go a little bit lower. So the average slope of this bad boy. The whole bear market. What is going on? So you could do from here, so from 003 to 0033, and I'm hoping that's 45 to 65% down. Hopefully. Let's see. Ooh. It's gonna go lower. Because I already let my community know a while ago that BNB is the coin to watch. That's when algos will stop buying alts and they're gonna start getting weaker, and we're gonna look for a 45% move. Not immediately, but it will initiate a 45% move down for all altcoins. And I was mentioning that here when it was on the 10, because I knew it was gonna get trapped in here, and I drew this triangle before it formed. I'll let them know once it falls below this line, that's when alts will begin to lose their 45%. You'll have bounces along the way, and that's exactly what's happening. So that coin really hasn't moved down. It needs to go down 45%. It will go down 45% with statistical probabilities behind it. So that's not enough origin lines. So what I'm looking at here is this. You got some support with this area here and that wick, so that as a top support, but also you have support here and that wick there, so it's going to be a box. That would probably be my target, especially if it's about 50 to 60% down. Yeah, that's better. I would go like this. So it's going to be more than 4 origin lines down. So so these aren't actually origin lines because it's too young. So once this coin, if it lives to age 3, all these lines, what they'll look like is if we zoomed into something like this, right, in 3 years, the lines that you're seeing now, in 3 years, they would look like this. They would all just be like right there. Even though they're fully, they would just all be right, consolidated, right? So these aren't true origin lines, but they're still good guides. So it's gonna go more than 4 below. There we go. This is saying January 3rd, price could get sucked in right there. Or it could take as long as late, so either in January, it should hit this blue box. Between those numbers. Is that a set it and leave it? It might not be low enough, but this has stayed pretty strong. I don't know if that's low enough for set it and leave it, man. That would be my DC8 point number 1. I would probably make another DCA point somewhere around these candle bodies because that'll be defended heavily. So if it does go below there, people will defend that. Even if it's the exchange's bots. Like, this would be a set it and leave it. 0015. That's a set it and leave it. But I think you're running the chance, though. The lower you go, the higher the chance is it doesn't get filled. And, you know, you could have done nothing and it would have been the same result. But here, you have a greatly increased chance of it getting it filled. But you also have a good chance that it goes, you know, 30, 40% lower. But that's, you know, that's what these hang's all about. Yeah, it's 40%. Those would be my two areas. Or you could make it 3. Whatever you're trying to do, set it and leave it 3 areas. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Just don't make it one limit buy. Just do 3 limit buys. Not financial advice. That's what I would do if I were interested in this Caspa coin. I'm glad you weren't asking about Costa. It'll go lower than 0025. Yeah, I think it's going to hit 15 or this, right? Yeah, that's a neat looking chart. All right, rock and roll. You guys are, guys and gals are, I don't know if you know what? I don't know if people are getting blocked from me because I have a spam wall now. So if you are typing and it doesn't show up, it's not because you're blocked. It's because you have a word that's blocked. So investment, you know, $ emojis or you know, eyeball, look over here, contact him, the word Telegram, use invest, like what the bots, the scammers use. Don't use a scammer keyword or else your comment will be removed automatically and I have no control over it. It's just auto. Because I'm trying to get rid of the bots on my channel or at least battle them again. Even though I lost the first battle, but we'll see how it goes the second try. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to look at Ethereum now. Ethereum is in a different setup than Bitcoin to the downside. To the upside, it's almost identical. The weekly 10 is sitting up top. It's going to be resistance shortly. And then its origin line is even farther up top, which the recent pump up, the recent bull trap, both Ethereum and Bitcoin, you can see behind me. See how that big spike up here tried to touch the origin line right above it where it says origin line? Both Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing the same thing to the upside. To the downside, though, Bitcoin has more of a free fall scenario, but Ethereum has this scenario here, which Bitcoin does not have. So let's go dissect what the similarities are, the differences, and how to stay on your toes with Ethereum, and should you be using Ethereum as a guide to your Bitcoin analysis? Let's go get it. If you haven't watched my Bitcoin portion, the same day Bitcoin video, you might want to do that. It'll probably be extremely helpful so you can see this comparison. Right now, what we have going on is this red line is the weekly 10 EMA, the biggest kahuna single EMA and anything. Whether it's the price of oil or Tesla or Bitcoin, this is like the most major one single thing you can have, right? The weekly 10 EMA. It's coming. The slope is down with a major 2017 horizontal. This area is major. I had this here before price touched it. I had it here before price did this. This has been here for a long time. And again, you know, go if you want to confirm what I'm saying, so you know that I'm not just a YouTuber says, oh, I did this, and like, oh, look at all that, right? Go, that's actually, where did it first touch? You can go, you can go back to June or, you know, July or whatever, but I've had this here for quite a while. So I didn't retrofit it to these lows. It's just a 2017 line. It's a weekly candle body. That's it. That's all it is. And I drew it right. I dragged it right. So you have a horizontal with a descending or a negative slope, weekly 10. What shape does that make? A triangle. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum have the same setup going on. A key horizontal, but in Ethereum's case, it's a bigger horizontal, and the weekly 10 as double resistance in this area. But the triangle is going to be formed by the weekly 10, and any bull trap above the weekly 10 will be rejected by this line here, which is boom. So if big players want to have retail or less sophisticated algos short the next time price gets to the weekly 10, let's say it happens here. Well, it's going to do a failure pattern up to 1265. That's the next resistance, and it'll hit it. Does that make sense? So if this horizontal is just above, here, let me make this line red so we know that this is the EMA. All right, so this is the EMA coming down. This guy right here, red line. No, right? And if it does a failure pattern or a trap above that red line, then it's going to hit that and then break down and come down into it. Does that make sense? So it's very similar to Bitcoin's situation, but to the downside, it's a lot more interesting because Ethereum has immediate support, like triple support right below it. It might not be right below it. Yeah, within 7%. So you're going to have a line that does not exist on Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is under its 17.5 low back from June, but Ethereum's June low is still the low of this year, calendar year 2022. It is at a higher low structure right now. So if you zoom out, this entire how many days, 185 days, is much more bullish structurally than Bitcoin from a low to higher low standpoint. But it's not much more bullish than Bitcoin from the weekly 10. They're about the same distance away, or more bullish in the origin line standpoint. They're both about the same distance away. But more macro zooming out, this is a higher low structure. So, and it's got triple support here. This is really interesting, everybody, right? But what's going to happen here with Ethereum is that you're going to have an initiation to the downside that will bring Ethereum to this triangle. And right here is about the end of January. This is about February 1st, the end of the triangle. So it's going to happen in December or January. The first initiation of move will bring Ethereum into here. Even if it goes past here, it's probably going to want to zoom back up, retest all this, and then fall out. So the neat thing with this is our initiator for downside crypto movement is on another chart. We just went over that during the Bitcoin portion, right? But if Ethereum, what's going to happen is if all alts in Bitcoin really, really tank, because this origin line is here and it's farther down for Bitcoin, Ethereum dominance will rise if everything else tanks because it will want to retest this. It will retest this line, folks. It's going to retest it. But Bitcoin might not. So I anticipate if we do have a capitulation, some type of move in the next 30 days or so, that Ethereum, during that move, it will have some type of skyrocket move up to retest that line and then go down. And I don't think many alts would do that. But in that moment of time, Ethereum would outperform Bitcoin heavily during that time because Bitcoin doesn't have this. So Ethereum will act different to downside moves, but upside moves it won't. That's what I'm saying here. It's not going to lead Bitcoin to the downside or anything. I'm not saying that. Or it won't pull Bitcoin back up, but it will behave differently. Because there's a void here for Bitcoin at much farther move down. So this trend line you want on your chart. Connect the low of November 21st to the yearly low of Ethereum. Then put your horizontal here, about $100 range. 1160 to 1260 roughly. Okay, it's technically 1265. That's step 2. Step 3 is you're going to want this origin line here too, but there's not going to be a great way to draw it. So how would I do this for you? Let's say that New York time, I'm going to go, you're going to have to go to the 1 hour chart for this. If you want this bottom line the same as mine, you have to go to the 1 hour chart. All right. So if your time zone's different than mine, you'll have to do a different time. Okay. All right. So I will do it right here. I'm going to go to November 15th. And it's when it crossed this horizontal. So on my time, New York time, it was 6 a.m. in the morning. So if you are in Berlin, that would be noon, and on Thursday the 15th. In London, that would be 11 a.m. So you want to go to your 11 a.m. on that day and pick that as point number 1. And then you'll connect it to whatever we put point number 2, and now you'll have your line that you extend. You want this line on your Ethereum chart, don't sit here and listen to this whole thing and not draw it. Now, if you don't care about Ethereum or you don't use it, okay, well, then that makes sense. But for the live stream participants. Okay, and now, yeah, let's go up to here, because from horizontal to horizontal, that's actually going to be a lot easier. And now, connect it to, you might have to go to a larger time frame to do that, but now it's at 11:50. Let's call it 11:58. What the fuck? 5 F words in a month. I don't know why I'm cursing so much. All right, 11:58. You have to go up a time frame. The 1 hour time frame for this won't work. You got to go to the 2 hour, the 4 hour. So the 4 hour chart won't let you do this. So next year, January 29th, at about 5 a.m. New York time in the morning, would be 11:58. You connect those 2 points, you have the exact line. Okay? Ethereum's going to get interesting when it crosses below here, because it has support that nothing else has, because of, and it's all due, and here's why. The merge happened, and everybody started buying a month before, October 15th, right, to September 15th. The stock market rallied in August, and it rallied till late August, so that means the big traditional finance algos, they said, idiots are already buying Ethereum, stock market's going up, let's hit it hard. So they traded Ethereum to the upside, and it went, it was crazy. It was like 180% run or something in a bear market. It's pretty solid. And because Ethereum stole the show from Bitcoin, that's why it's now making a higher low and Bitcoin's not. It went up way too high, right? And now it hasn't come down enough to take out its low. Okay, but when it goes below here, I'm telling you, that's going to be real bad. Like, that's when it will make new lows. Like, it'll start really, really rocking and rolling. And the next line below that, if we want to see, so once it drops below that origin line that you just drew, or you will draw, or whatever, you're looking at your next support is 966. You're going to get a bounce here at these, at most of these lows, but it's not going to stop there. And it's not going to stop here either. It won't stop in the thousands. It'll bounce in the thousands, but it'll make a lower high. It's going to go to that line after it drops out and gets rejected by this origin line. So it needs to get rejected by it too, most likely. And then you have 966 for Ethereum. To the upside, so if Bitcoin can rally to 18,600, which I forgot to mention in that Bitcoin portion, whatever. If there is, so check this out. Watch this channel. See that trading channel? Well, it just hit the bottom of it. So it is possible that it comes all the way up and makes a higher high. And in that case, you are looking, if something big, a big rally, which I don't think is on the table yet, but if price starts getting out of control, just ridiculous bull trap, Ethereum would either go to 1412-ish or 1414, or it would wick up to the origin line closer to 1460. Because this triangle, it would have, if it got up here, it would have full permission. The liquidity would be so low anyway, it wouldn't take relatively much money to pop it up from one to the other. Once it's all, it cleared, if it gets up here fast, the order book would be really thin. So, to go from at this point here to here is nothing, right? Even though you might think that's a big jump, it's not. Because if it goes up fast, the order book is not thick there, right? And that's big time upside movement. So which I don't anticipate until we can confirm a breakout above the weekly 10. You get above it, you use it as support, get above horizontal resistance, and then break out. I'm not even gonna think of that as a possibility until I see this used as support and this used as support. Because what could happen is this weekly 10 comes here, you get above it, then you get rejected by this line, you use this as support, then a lower high, then you tank down, boom, 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 get trapped, kablam. Right? That's why I'm not even looking up there yet. So if I were long, and I'm in a long now, I personally would be taking profits, personally, not financial advice, right here. I wouldn't hope for all that, hell no. Because I would look for a pullback than a re-enter. Why would I want to be in position as it's pulling back if I'm long? That just to watch my money get less? No way. No way. And that's midterm and micro time frame, bullish and bearish scenarios and exact targets and how and why price would move the way it would. All right, Quant. Oh, did you get my near question? I am not, oh, I didn't have it on live chat. Okay. All right, how about LTC, multi-capital loans, boom. Did you get, no, DCF, this is the first time I see you typing near, I think. All right. No, DCF, I don't know what you're asking about near. Quant for short-term and 2025 outlook. Oh, I already did that. I'm pretty sure, or have I already done that, Josh? Quant? We'll just rock and roll here. So let's, I mean, I haven't done that today, obviously, but I have a live stream viewer who wants me to look at Quant. He wants short-term time frame price action, but also for me to get an idea of the prospects of not guessing 2025 highs, but just, you know, rough direction on how high, or some loose targets, right? Without making specific guesses. So let's go get some Quant. And if you're a fan of Quant and you're new to my channel or haven't subscribed yet, I mean, I do cover it once or twice a week, which means you might want to subscribe and hit the bell for all alerts. All right. So here's the squeeze that I've been talking about on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Do you see how, so it's already happened on this asset. Look, precisely what I've been talking about. But for Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's not an ascending line, that it's a horizontal. And it's forming a triangle. Everything is. This already fell out of it. I'm actually kind of surprised. So Quant is leading to the downside. But it was I mean, that big run shouldn't have happened. That's just stupid. And now everybody who was buying, because you know during this rally, the majority of selling happened from here to, or no, the majority of buying happened from here to here. So the majority of everybody, you know, I'm not talking about people trading. I'm talking about people who think they're trading and they're just buying and think they're saying Quant to $1,000. Those people, they're all at a loss. That wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know what that's about. That's just stupid. But technically, it was just a fake out of a massive, massive inverted head and shoulder, multi-year head and shoulders. But all right, a leading to the downside. It's kind of weird. Short-term price action. All right, so here's what's getting ready to happen on Quant. Short term. This week, you need the weekly 10 though, because everything is going to be interacting with its weekly 10. Weekly 10 on everything, unless it's a very, very weak coin in which it's way too far below. So when you look up, it's like 30% above price. Okay, not those coins. But actually, how high up is this? It's only about 10%. So what's going to happen is this. You have an origin line that was here before this happened and was here before this happened. And this origin line was here before this happened. They just work, right? Okay. What's going to happen is you're going to have the weekly 10 coming down as price wants to touch it. It could, this intersection on the 22nd of December. So these are going to cross on that's in 2 days. It might make price, it turns into a black hole. So if price were way up here, it would suck price down into it. If price is below it, it would suck price up into it. If price is past it, it would suck price back in time, create a time machine, and then kick it into the future. No, you can't move left. Anyway, direction left. All right. But the point is, if price were up high, it would suck it down to it. But since price is down low, it'll suck it up into it. So honestly, it might be exactly in 2 days where it hits that line. Because it doesn't always happen exact, but because, you know, if you vacuum, you know, if you have a tube with suction power and it starts grabbing onto something, sometimes it takes a while for it to get the momentum, right? So it could, you know, go like this a little after the cross. But what's going to happen is this. Either it'll hit it right as these two are crossing around in 2 days, on Thursday the 22nd, or it'll stumble here, go like this, and then wick above it, potentially hitting this origin line, come back down to the weekly 10, lower high, crash below the weekly 10, and finally hit this, and then go lower. So let me show you what that would look like. Okay, that's the weekly 10 EMA. So option one, it gets real hot. It breaks. So the moment it will get hot is when it gets above that wick and that wick. All right. So the moment it gets hot, it could get hot here and go straight up to it. Could. Around the 22nd or the 23rd of this month. But something a little bit more reasonable is it spends some time here and completes the symmetry of this inverse head and shoulders, which I'm not a pattern trader, but the symmetry, I mean, it's a real thing. Like bots are creating symmetry, regardless of the name of this, right? So it creates the symmetry, then it breaks out and either gets rejected and comes down as option one, or it does a failure pattern to touch here, then a lower high, then trapped under, then go down. Let me make these different colors. There you go. Wow, that's a neat color. What the hell color did I like that one. Second one. Huh. Interesting, that really pops. There you go. Those are the three ways I see this moving to the upside. All right. Now, to the downside, you're gonna, let's see here. I want to start with a 45-degree angle. So I'm not making the guess that it's gonna break up because I already established at the beginning of this stream, right now is a no trade zone for entries. If you're currently in profit on something, okay, it doesn't mean scramble out, but this is a no trade day or no entry day on time frames, 15 minute and above. If you're a micro time frame trader, 5 minute, 1 minute candles, okay, you can always trade. But people half hour candles and above, it's a no trade zone. All right. I would start by doing this. Hold on a sec. So I want to see the angle that it likes to bounce. See that? It likes to bounce at the same angle every time. See that? See what I'm doing? Okay, now watch. Yeah, so this is more aggressive than a 45. Good thing I did that. I was kind of getting the feeling, man, I think this kind of breaks the 45-degree rule. It's weird. I don't think I've ever seen a crypto do that. This likes a lot more aggressive an angle. So, all right, I'm going to do it about right there. So I would not get full on bearish until it's both past the projector and below this. That's it. Because anything that is like here or higher is just a normal bullish pullback. So you are looking potentially for a higher low. But what will happen is buyers will step in, and if sellers step in right away, they will do it at this line and then bring it down. So instead of guessing now, ooh, go short, go short. No, right now is a no trade zone. You can't tell. You are guessing. It's using this as support. It doesn't even look like it's going to break down. Why are you shorting? Right? But also you have a lower high, lower low, lower low. Why would you go long? What are you doing? It's no trade on these time frames. So don't guess. Just wait until you don't have to guess. Why do you don't have to make money right now. Go to a different setup on a different coin. If you're a quant fan, and if you just have to make a trade now, don't do it on this asset because you are guessing and that is gambling. Okay. I'm missing something. That's what I'm missing. I'll get rid of that. So I would start getting bearish once it goes below this line, because it'll also be below there by default. So really, this is the line right there. I wouldn't be bearish or short on this asset until it goes boom, boom, boom. So I would do it about right there. Because if it does go below, what does it mean? It's going to be a lower high. It will be. If it goes below one more time. Sometimes you have that horseshoe shape, but Bitcoin, if at that moment, if that were to happen, you would need to see Bitcoin also go below one of our blue boxes and scoop out. And then you can say, but look at Litecoin. If Litecoin's not below its origin line from our stream today, which I recorded during the Bitcoin portion, if this were to happen, if Litecoin's still above, I actually wouldn't be that bearish if Bitcoin and Quant are both doing the same thing as Litecoin is above its origin line. So there is a possibility of a fake out before it slams up in your face, but Litecoin will be your truth chart. It will be your downside truth. I'm telling you, it will be. There is this shape, honestly, it kind of looks like it's getting ready to happen. I don't know why I'm getting that feeling, but you will be able to see if that happens. Bitcoin below a blue box, Litecoin above its origin line, that means it's a fake out. Okay? But bar that, I would be bearish under here. I would wait for the lower high, and then I would be short. That's short-term time frame. 2025. Go to the 5-day chart in order to see that far out. Here, let's see if I can do extend line for multiple at the same time. Nope. All right. Wonder if there's a shortcut for that. Oh, and once I go to a smaller time frame, it's going to be all messed up, isn't it? Actually, it wasn't that bad. All right, let me get rid of let me clean up this chart real fast. Hold on. And if you want to learn how to use this object tree, you better watch. Hit that button up top. Now it says group. Click the one outside, go to the bottom, hold shift, click that, drag them all up till the blue line happens. Boom, place them in, bam. And where'd it go? Group 1, I haven't labeled it. So we got those. It's taking a while. Where are these lines? Damn it, Tim. Ah, they're way up here. Yeah, I haven't cleaned up this chart. Origin lines, bam. All right, now I think we're about situated. I can go like this. There we go. That's much cleaner. I don't know what that line is. Okay, here we are. 2025. You need to go to the 5-day chart to see out that far because TradingView will break because it won't allow you to. All right, it's not going to hit this top line again next bull run, right? We already know this from how Ethereum and Bitcoin moves. It looks like it's either, it looks like this line right here. That line has more activity than any other one. This zone, actually. Here, let me make it a zone. Yeah, I did it right the first try. Woo! All right. Oh, perfect. So I think that would be the resistance or the top in 2025. So now let's mark off the time axis. You know, most tops happen around November, December, January. So I'm going to go to November 2025 because we haven't had a single top that's not close to November, right? Not a single one ever. So I'm going to go to November. Doesn't mean the next one will be in November, but I mean, it's a pretty solid educated guess. It's the best guess you have, right? There is no other best guess. Damn, that would be pretty high. All right. I can't see it going over 10K. But it does have permission to. I mean, that's how these origin lines work. If, or that's 11K, shit, in the middle. 10K, yeah, 9,200 at the bottom. It's a $4,000 range, but it's just one origin line range. So yeah, around 10K is kind of what it looks like it could do. Because this is what Bitcoin's going to do. It went under its bottom line. So imagine this red line. I have it like that. It's like 4 origin lines below its previous bottom line. And in the future, in 2025, which was previously the bottom line, in 2025, if Bitcoin goes up to touch it, it will be worth $1.2 million for one Bitcoin if it uses the previous bottom support line as resistance. So I'm going to take the meat of this line, right, and say, okay, you know, it's if things go extraordinarily well and they achieve all the goals they want to, I still don't think it'll go above that line. So this is like the absolute max. I don't actually think it's statistically likely to get there, but it could. It really could. Structurally, it absolutely could. And it would be fairly natural in the chart too, because that's how Bitcoin moves. Now, a less crazy bullish scenario, right? If you want one more offering there, let's see here, extend right. Come on, Tim, think. Is this line. So just like Bitcoin's ultimate bottom line, it went way below, which this will go below it too, most likely. But yeah, it probably will. It has a chance not to. It does have a chance to bounce and just go sideways the whole bear market until Bitcoin's done and then pop up. It does have the chance to do that if it can hold that red line. If it can hold it. So if you're a quant fan and you want to know which line is the line to look at, it's that red. It only has one touch with price ever though. So you'll have to rewind this video to a point where you can see it clearly and then make it look the same. But in 2025 in November, that's 2,700. So this is, you know, a very, very low end estimate, very conservative with the loose assumption. It's not a safe assumption, right? But it's an assumption that's reasonable that Quant both survives the bear market and does okay in terms of a business. You know, you don't have CEOs quitting or, you know, getting caught on Twitter, like, you know, with doing illicit things off the behind of an individual who sells his or her body for other services. Try to use everything without gender. It came out pretty awkward. But you know, just save anything weird like that can happen in crypto, right? That would be a very, very conservative estimate. But it might not ever get there if if like the business people just say, you know, it didn't work. Or Intel Corp comes up with a solution just like what they were trying to do, and they just wipe the floor with them and they go away. It's possible, right? Because think about it, these crypto companies, even though this is one of the biggest backers out of like almost any crypto, that and Algorand, Quant and Algorand have probably the most legit backers out of anything. That's not a monetary coin. Bitcoin and Litecoin and Dash don't need backers because the project's done. It's a monetary coin. It's not a business. It's not a stock, right? But Quant coin is a stock. It's literally like Nasdaq 2.0. That's what it is. And it's a penny stock. And the company is valued over $1 billion right now. I think its market cap's still over $1 billion. So not technically a penny stock, but all crypto pretty much is. Besides Ethereum is a penny stock. Ethereum is a reputable business and it's profitable. But I don't know if there are any other companies out there. Maybe EOS and Tron, because they have gambling sites. They might be profitable, actually. They might have a profitable bottom line, but because they're gambling stuff. But outside of that, I think pretty much all cryptos, they're either revenue less or the small revenue that they have. Like Cardano, I don't know if they have any revenue at all, but if they do have some revenue, it's definitely not enough to cover the cost. So they're still negative. They're not profitable, right? Cardano as a business is not profitable. No matter way you cut the dice. After 6 years, it's a penny stock. It is a gamble, right? Bitcoin is, technically a gamble too, right? So Quant, I don't want you to come back in 5 years and say, oh, remember when you said 10K Quant? I was asked to give this, to make this video, and I clearly stated multiple times now, I don't think that's probable, but it does have permission to go that high with all these things said and done, all right? Rock and roll. Yeah, it's a pretty chart though. It follows these origin lines really nicely. Almost as nicely as Flux. Here, zoom in, here, watch. Look how beautiful that is. Let me go to a smaller time. Beautiful. This could have been better. Other than that miss, this is pretty damn solid. Yeah, Flux missed there too. But it hit the exact target, I thought though. I think there was a horizontal there is why Flux came up short. And this, and didn't really have a horizontal exactly there. All right, more questions. Here we go. Got a lot more. It looks like it's falling off a cliff. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about. You better be prepared. Digital currency group DGD holds a lot of it. They are dumping. Yeah, hey, what have been? You already know what I've said about Near. I've already confirmed that. Oh yeah, there you go. It's gonna hit that line, period. I've been talking about this. I even had somebody come on my channel the first time I talked about this blue line, right? And in that one, I even mentioned, yeah, it could come up and get rejected, which would be about a 12% move. 12%. He goes to a show. You told everybody to sell, that it was gonna fall off the cliff, and look what's happening now. It's like, dude, it's just barely above the blue line. I said it's gotta go touch anyway. What are you talking about, man? Like, why? And that person came on my channel like 5 times. Whew. And I think I was talking about selling into this rally right here. And then afterward, you think, oh, why did you say that? You told everybody to sell. Like, no, man. I said I would. But you're welcome now. You won't be complaining. Actually, you might join my Discord. And if you're listening, okay, here, I need to record this. All right, Near Protocol. I've been talking about this line for quite a while. I got a YouTube commenter who, when I said here, I would become a seller at this line because it's a horizontal and this double resistance, I personally would be a seller, and I would wait to be, I would wait to see how the rejection or interaction with this line happens, right? And then that person, when this baby move came, like 18% move, came on my channel. You told everybody to sell, all that stuff. Now that I'm recording, and came on my channel multiple times over this. Was mad over about 20 days. So if you are that person, now that you see I was right, because you can obviously tell now, what is it going to hit? The line that I've been telling you it's going to hit. Like it's going to, it's obvious to you now. And I understand that it was obvious earlier. I'm not making fun of you. Well, I did a little bit, I guess, technically, but I shouldn't have. So what's going to happen now is you're probably going to get a retest of this. Just like I said down here, it's probably going to retest that line. So you're probably but it's probably going to hit the bottom of this guy. All right. You want that line on your chart. It's going to race to touch that. So what's going to happen is this. Sellers will start stepping in here, but if it takes a little longer to get there, it's going to touch this anyway. So it'll pierce this triangle, right? Here. So it could, let me go to like a really small chart here, 15 minute. So what day would this be? If it takes until, if it happens around, if it hits this line this week, Thursday or after, it will actually just go up to $1.55 too, or $1.55. Because when you have double resistance so close to each other, what the whale algos do is they can see where your stops are. The exchanges can see where your stops are too. Like, you don't think they're in together? They are. Like, guarantee your information's being shared. They can. I know, well, it's already confirmed. Exchanges can see your stops, and exchanges do have bots that can see your stops. But in addition to that, bigger players who are interested in this, like the, whatever capital group or you said holds this, they might have a deal with an exchange. They can see everybody's orders and stops that are supposed to be hidden, right? So in that case, but it doesn't matter. It's not really, even though it might be cheating creates patterns. So it's not cheating anymore. You just need enough of the patterns to get it. So this, I'm trying to show you this. It's not thieves. It's not criminals. That's what they're trying to do. They're technically cheating if they're doing that. But anyway, it creates a pattern. So trade with them. I'm trying to show you how to do it. But so in the events that you have a pretty major line, like this one, where everybody's going to be seeing it and they're going to sell into it, what's going to happen? People are going to short there. What kind of liquidity does that instantly make? Stops and liquidations. It comes in form of the opposite side of the trade. It turns into buy orders. So when people sell here, or when it comes up to this line, shit. So it's going to complete this symmetry first. All right, comes up to this line. Shorts are going to pile on because it's such an obvious line. The liquidations and stops are what? They're buy orders. All up in here, right? So what happens? So now all their liquidity and buy orders is just sitting here, and whales can see it. They say, shit, I'll just put. So what whales will say when price is right here is they have USD sitting on the side, or Tether or whatever, right? And they say, well, I'll go on my exchange and I'll put my short orders right here. And now that I know I can move price, you know, because I'm a whale and I can move it at least 5% or whatever. Yeah, 5%. I'll just use my USD, right? And I'll tack this line and I'll run it up into my shorts. And then once it hits my shorts and they're activated, all the near protocol that I bought to race it up there, well, hell, I kind of cleared the order book. So once it hits there, it's going to be thin looking down. So now all that stuff I just bought to get it there with a thicker order book, it's going to crash it harder, the same amount of near that I just bought. So the same near I bought right here to get it to my shorts, I just resell it. And it actually has a bigger effect, which is why you see those bull traps go boo, boo. Because it cleared the order book, the same amount of asset being sold, it makes it drop faster if the order book doesn't fill right back up. Does that make sense? So yeah, it'll probably hit this line, or it has a chance to. So let's look at the weekly 10 though. I haven't put that on. But oh yeah, what I was gonna say was, if you are that person who came on my channel and it was all like, you know, just getting ridiculous, I think I blocked you on YouTube, so you won't be able to reach out to me there. But, I mean, I would, like, hit me up on Twitter or join my Discord and I'll refund you, and I'll give you a couple months free. Like I would prefer to, I want to show you like how I anticipated this, because your emotions were pretty heavy. You were very mad at me for giving you information that ended up being true, right? It just wasn't on the time frame you wanted. But what I said what you want is irrelevant. But you interpreted the information I gave and you wanted it to go down immediately. But that's not what I was saying at all. And I want to show you how I can anticipate all this, but I think I want to help you format your brain to time. So talking bearish and bullish stuff on the 5-minute chart has no relevance to the daily chart. Almost no relevance, unless it's at the beginning or end of the day. Then it kind of does. It doesn't affect this, right? So what I'm saying is my time frame mentality, my brain was formatted to a more general, larger time frame than yours. You were focused on, this is it? Oh my God! Why did you tell us to sell? Right? But my time frame was, okay, I would sell into this rally because eventually it's going to tank below this and touch this line way lower. And what did it do? It did that. I didn't say it was going to happen the next hour. How long did it take? It took about a month, but I was making those videos about there. So 22 days. All right. But so for anybody else, not just that person, but that's how time frame, and when you communicate with people about price action, it's really important to make, so not just for near, but anything. It is super important when you're talking about price to somebody else, because I do this like every 5 days a week on Discord. One time we get tongue-tied and we're not on the same page is when we're thinking about different time frames because we haven't specified. Make sense? About being bullish or bearish. So our time frames are off, and I'd like to have a couple conversations with you, probably give you a month or two free of Discord so you can check it out, because I want you to do better. Because if you were that mad, you're going to get your ass kicked next bull market. Like, you are not prepared. Like if you get that emotional, it's not just you. I'm not, I have been there too. I've had my time where I get emotional about stuff in price, but now it's just kind of, it's not boring, but it's a lot closer to boring for me now. But like right now on my dash trade, I'm just holding tether for like 10 days now, just waiting, right, for my next buy, because it went up too high and I sold a little too early. I didn't sell the top. I sold halfway through the move, which is still very profitable for me. But anyway, I want to have a little bit of time with you so we can get you a little bit more, a crash course prepared for the next bull run. And I would probably give you a couple months free so you can digest at least the cryptillion. I'll show you. Well, maybe not. The cryptillion tutorial section, which has 7 videos. It will have 10, but it has 7 videos in it in a row. And it's just a crash course for anybody new. Like, if you want to go from zero, not to hero, but zero to charts are not scary, that's your bet. And I would want to help you out with that. So reach out to me, not through YouTube, but through Twitter, or join the Discord. Then I can refund you or whatever. You join Cryptillion, jump on a live call, let me know you're the person. We'll see you next time. That's Near Protocol. Well, the next logical bounce area. Yeah, it's not. It's gonna be that line. I think there might be a chart with a little bit more price. There might be a horizontal down there. Let's see. So this is what I had to do to my dash chart. I found one with more price history. And all I did was I took a fractal of all that, stretched it out. Like, I don't know why TradingView doesn't automatically make it the same exact size, but whatever. It's a little too big. Close enough? Yeah. So see what I'm doing behind me? This is a chart, the same asset, but I don't have this one all set up. So I have two choices. If I really want to get near protocol right, I can either go to a chart with all the price history, make a fractal, hit Control X or Option X, and then put Option or Control V on the next chart, or I can just try to reset this chart how I did my other one. But in this case, I'm just going to take the fractal because I kind of like my KuCoin one. However, if I could start from scratch and just magically get a switch, I would probably just switch it over to that one, but to the one with full price history on Binance. However, this chart behind me is already pretty set up. So now what I'll do is I will go Control V. Pretty sure that should have been around July 20th, 2021. Oh, whoops. Yep, July 22nd, perfect. And then, so now go back to near. I can see here that the next, that's it right there. That's too wide. I need to go back into this. Hold on. There you go. $1.05, 95. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's gonna slow down on this area and then it'll drop. So so falling from this line is when it'll really. So it'll be like an acceleration, like this one was, exactly as I anticipated. It'll start accelerating when it falls off this line, but it'll do a similar thing once it falls off this line. But it will slow down here because the sellers will take a break and they'll allow the buyers to spin their tires and get nothing done, and then they'll start selling again. Yeah, so let's break it around. So yeah, you're gonna have some bounces, 95 to 105, and then it's coming down to the 60s. All right. Short term, if not done, or no, I haven't done Dash. I mean, Dash is essentially the coin I trade the most, and I'm trying to accumulate the most. Even though I tried to use my Dash reserved money and trade ape, and I got stopped. I got stopped out twice, and I took a little bit of a. And on Dash, I've traded it right every time but once out of like 40 trades, spot trades, not futures. So I got a lot more cushion. And then I tried different assets, screwed up, but I shouldn't have done that. So let's go to Dash here. So my Dash trading has been. You're not all supposed to. Okay. That is not free. All right. Actually, let me unrecord that portion. All right, Dash is the coin I trade the most. It's the one I'm most interested in accumulating. I think most return viewers of my channel know that. And if you are new to my channel because you're finding this Dash standalone videos during a live stream, somebody asked me to cover it. I don't cover it a lot, but on my Discord, I use Dash as my reference of my personal game plan on spot trading because I like my community to know what I'm thinking for futures trades on smaller time frames. And then mid/short, but not micro time frames, my Dash spot trade. I simply use Dash as a reference because generally it moves with Bitcoin. Generally does. Sometimes it oscillates. Sometimes it's slightly more bearish than Bitcoin, slightly more bullish. But anyway, it roughly moves with Bitcoin. So Dash short term, man. Well, you got a lot going on there. Shit. It's getting ready to really nosedive. It's above its weekly 10, and Bitcoin and Ethereum are not. Wow, Dash is stronger than Ethereum and Bitcoin right now. Holy damn. And that's why I'm sitting here waiting with Tether. Because on this rally up, I bought actually at the line. Because I had my orders here. I literally bought the low because of my chart. I literally bought exactly at the low. And if you don't believe me, I can maybe show you before we get off of here if I can go that far back in price because I traded a lot. But I bought and sold here on that rally. Did I sell the top of that one? No. But did I rebuy here and sell there? Yes. Did I rebuy here and sell? I sold at like 40. No, I sold it. Where did I sell? No, I didn't catch all this. I sold for an 8% move. I only got 8% out of it. So my third I sold about right there at about 37. So I've made 3 profitable trades in this area. 1, 2, 3. Because I didn't think it was going to get above here or above this triangle. So I didn't care to hold it. I thought this triangle was going to kind of stop it. But that's when it started outperforming everything. So there's no way to anticipate that with an altcoin. Unless, actually there was a way because of Litecoin. This follows Litecoin sometimes as well. Because they are direct competitors. Man, there's a lot going on here. Okay, so what most people are going to be looking at is this line here. What is this purple line? Oh no, did I have that marked off already? Okay, so not that line. So a lot of people are going to be looking at this line, more retail and bots, because of all this right here. It just floated up here. It's a beautiful line. My origin line is here. So this is actually more similar to Ethereum. Ethereum's got 3 interest points at an origin line down below. So honestly, Dash is more similar to Ethereum right now. That's kind of weird. They're the only 2 that I like that I cover. Fuck. So you have this, this is actually kind of complex here. So you have this area here where you have 3 different items that are all 3 a big deal for price action. But the people who are looking at this purple line, right, the more obvious one, retail, they're definitely not aware of my origin line because I made origin lines and I gave them their name, so you're not going to have that line unless you watch my channel. So that's the vast majority of people aren't going to see that line, right? A lot of the people also won't know that this horizontal is important. So the people seeing this line are going to become buyers. So this will be defended the first time. That can come in form of 2 things. All right. Yeah. So I'm right now I'm focusing on the retail line and how they'll probably be wrong, but it'll affect price because they're being wrong. It will throw a piece of the puzzle in there, or that's a bad analogy. It'll throw, it'll stop the washing machine and throw in another sock or something, right? Okay. It'll retest that line. So I think the first touch of this line, it's going to come back up and touch that guy. And then the next time, it's going to be, it'll be the second time. So here's the very, so all that complex, like just what I was saying was complex, and before I knew what I was going to say, okay, now I've got it figured out. And a lot of people complain, you should make the video after you get it figured out. No, if you want to learn how to do this by yourself, you're going to watch me battle through it. So you know what my process of thinking is. That's probably more valuable than me telling you what I'm thinking at the end. Seeing me get to my conclusion, wow, look how all these cross at the same area. Holy shit. What is that? That's New Year's Day. Woo! Damn, Stash is saying something big's gonna happen around Christmas, New Year's Day. But anyway, that doesn't happen very often. All right, so what's gonna happen? This line here is the retail line. It's going to be defended, but then sellers will step in on this more mid-macro line. Right? So then it might go above here, but once it fails, it's going to find, so it's going to depend on the timing. So let's go to a really small time frame. Watch. So this is how Dash is going to go down. Like actually, literally. Because it will start going down. It's likely. Okay. So it's going to hit retail line. It's going to most likely ignore this horizontal and go straight back up because of the exuberance of the buyers still being hopeful that this is a higher low off to the moon, dash to $1,000, right? But then their buying power will slow down about here, exactly when sellers will step in. So it's gonna get stuck here, and then so I don't know at that point if it'll come straight down, right? But regardless, here's the simplicity of it. The second time it goes below this line would likely be the short opportunity. And with that, it'll probably be a rejection after the second time. I think it'll come up and reject it unless the stock market tanks, which really the stock market took down crypto. I saw it, like the algos were ready to pump Bitcoin. They were more ready to pump it than dump it before the PCE numbers or PMI numbers came out pretty bad. And they weren't expected to come out bad, and crypto just dropped, even though it was postured for good news, and then it didn't go up. That's how my ape trade went bad, because I was also expecting good news, and everything was postured to be bullish. But so similar thought process, posturing and all that. Exactly when it's postured to be a lower high, and the gas of the buyers is waning. That's exactly when the gas of the sellers will step in. It'll probably come below here. And that would be the second time, but I would still expect a rejection and then go. But it's still the second time. And that's that's Dash for the short term. And if you want to see, folks, where I see Dash long term, if you're newer to my channel, I have done this a couple times, but there we go. Let's go like this. So yeah, here's that fractal I was talking about. I took this from a chart with full price history since I already had these origin lines set up. All right, so next bull run, let's say November 2025, right? It's probably going to use what was previously the very bottom origin line. It'll use that as resistance, just like Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin for 2 whole market cycles. Bear market of 2015, bear market of 2019. Or 2018 and 2014. Yeah, 2014 and 2018 bear markets, Bitcoin used the same bottom line. And so did Dash, right? Same bottom line. But Bitcoin's so far below it now that it will use it as resistance coming up. And that resistance, like I said earlier in the stream, in 2025, it would be $1.2 million Bitcoin using something that was the bottom support as top resistance. 1.2 million because of the slope over time, rise over run. So Dash, like let's say 2024, not even 2025. So I don't expect the bull run to be like really super hot in 2024. But for reference, because I don't want to, here, let's actually just extend these lines. There we go. 5-day chart to go out to November 2025. Can't do it on a smaller time frame. There you go. That would be that's an extremely reasonable guess for Dash next bull run. Very, very reasonable. And there is good argument against that. Well, this bull run, it didn't even break its all-time high. What the hell? Yeah, you're right. It didn't. That is a good argument, and I don't have a great argument against that. Outside the fact, actually I do. The last two bull markets, it's been, so the first, or the bull market of 2017, 2016, it was a bull market only because of Ethereum. Ethereum became a shitcoin platform catapult. It allowed more people to enter the market more quickly to essentially become a penny stock, promises online, nobody has revenue. It's turning into Nasdaq 2.0 back in, as it was in 1997. Pets.com not even having like actual revenue and, being valuation of 20 billion, right? Just a website. That's what's happening in crypto 20 years later. Or actually 17 years later, 20 years later. Yeah, 97 to 2007. And so the last two bull runs has taken the limelight or the positive attention away from Bitcoin, from Litecoin, from even Ethereum, really, to some degree, and Dash, right? The OGs, because it's not sexy to talk about that. We want to talk about new shit, right? So remember how awesome Neo was back in 2017, and if you're new to crypto, try to search YouTube for Neo crypto, but make it in the time frame of let's say September to November 2017. You need to watch that stuff. Have you ever heard anybody talk about Neo since? Nope. Why? Because it wasn't new. So even from 2017 to the next bull run, Neo didn't break its all-time high either. Why? Because all the new stuff got the attention, right? 2 bull runs in a row. What factually is different? I'm not saying it's gonna be different next time, but there is something that is different. Will it cause it all to be different next time? I don't know. I'm not making that claim, but there's the argument to the idea that, well, why would you say that if Dash had a lower high? Well, I've just explained why a lot of cryptos got lower highs. Too many market participants, and even if there were 4 times as much money in crypto this bull market than last bull market, there were 6 times the options. So the water pressure in that tube actually dropped, which means everybody's run was smaller. Like nothing went up 250,000% like it did in 2017. That was common in 2017. I mean, people becoming multi-millionaires after buying $100 of Verge. I'm serious. That did not happen this bull run. Did not. Maybe Hex, maybe. But then again, it won't happen again. Like you won't have new Hex millionaires. Like just like you don't have new, Bitcoin billionaires. It's not going to happen again, right? It's only that first or maybe second run. But there are too many. So the besides Hex, there weren't any millionaires made with $100. But in 2013 and 2017, there were lots. Diminishing returns is essentially. But if you imagine water pressure in a hose, right? Water going through it. If you have a hose about that big, right? And you don't change the pressure from inside the house or wherever what's creating the pressure, and you make the hose bigger, the water pressure drops. It doesn't squirt out anymore, it just like trickles out, right? And that trickle is the difference between $250,000 coming a multimillionaire with $100 versus not. And the tube growing means more options in crypto, right? So even though more money came in, the hose's circumference got bigger than the amount of more water pressure pumping through. So even though there was more water pressure from the source, right? The hose circumference got even bigger faster and the pressure still dropped. And so why that might not happen next time, here's the argument. And in support of Dash, why that's a reasonable estimate. SEC, they might clean shop this bear market. They're going to hit crypto when crypto companies are weak. No one's going to fund them or protect them or come save them. They're not going to be able to sell their coins to stupid retail people, and do have exit liquidity. It's already a bear market. SEC can wipe the floor with it, not with Dash or Bitcoin, but it could take out. I mean, if it makes an example out of Ethereum, which it might, altcoins are going to get screwed. Non-monetary coins, right? So what does that do to the tube? For the ones that are left. If that happens, which ones will be left unscathed from the SEC? Monetary coins. Bitcoin, technically Bitcoin Cash also. If it had a fair, I don't know if that had a fair, and I don't know about Bitcoin Cash. It might though. But Dash, Litecoin, Bitcoin, monetary coins, untouchable from SEC. So let's say the SEC clears shop, everybody's scared to buy all those shitcoin penny stocks. Well, where's all the attention going to go? Back to the OGs, monetary coin explosion. I did not think, so my original plan with Dash is, I thought that moment would only come after Bitcoin adoption when a country, a fairly large country like Argentina, my guess is actually Argentina, or Turkey. My second guess is Turkey. But my first guess is Argentina, that all their people will not accept the government money anymore. Because the baby boomers, even though they're not, they didn't go to the, whatever. But that age group, 65, 70-year-olds, but 60 to 70, they have seen 3 times where all of their savings, all of their life, like savings, all their money gets worthless. They've been through it 3 times. 3 times where the government fucks, like screws them up. Can you imagine that? Like all your 401k, you can't buy anything with it after working your whole life. That's happened to them 3 times, right? So I thought the whole play on monetary coins, my whole Dash play, I thought it was going to be 8 to 10 years. I just want to accumulate for a long time and then retire with it. Once we have the monetary Bitcoin explosion, which will take up Dash to like 10K, 20K, it'll be a while. But you could have it could happen a little sooner if the SEC wipes the floor clean with all these securities, which the vast majority are securities. They had ICOs and the team kept most of the coins and they sold them to investors. Like, man, it could happen sooner. So it would be more, instead of the wave of monetary coins coming from Bitcoin adoption and through sheer demand, it'll be through attention. The pipe gets smaller, and the only thing that's left in the pipe is only consists of monetary coins or things that didn't get wiped from the SEC, but you have all the same money still waiting, so the pressure didn't change. It just the hose got smaller, so therefore now you're shooting water across the street and you could power wash your neighbor's house from 100 feet away, right? So it could happen a little sooner, and that's what we got. That was a long Dash one. All right, cool. I'm going to take the day off on Thursday, rolling into Christmas and all that stuff. So I will not see you until next week, YouTube folks. I will see you next Tuesday, I believe, next Tuesday at 6 p.m. New York time. Thank you, everybody.